You're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or who says it. A quote by Malcolm X. Hello class, my name is Jorge Acevedo, and today I'm going to be talking about the corruption in our government and specifically the corruption in our Congress. So, Congress plays an important role in our government. It has the responsibility of checks and balances between the different parts of government, and it also has the power to pass any bill to the president's desk and to deny any bill from reaching the president's desk. So what happens when Congress becomes desensitized from society? What happens when their policies become more lucrative? And what happens when Congress stops helping the American people? Then we would have an oligarchy, and that is what's happening today. So we saw the inadequacy of the government while dealing with COVID-19. We saw how many people fell in a financial crisis. We also see that the net worth of the congressman does not represent the majority of the United States and the working class, and additionally, the policies that they pass do not help the working class, the majority of the United States. So during COVID-19, what happened? Apart from the medical crisis, there is also a financial crisis happening in the United States, where many people are losing their house, many people are losing their cars, and some people don't know how to feed their children. What did the government do to help? Last year in April, they passed a $1,200 stimulus check. After that, they took 8 more months to pass a $600 stimulus check. In those 8 months, many families lost their house, already used the money up, and again saw themselves in the same position they did a couple months back. Kyle Kulinski explains why this happens in his radio show, The Kyle Kulinski Show. He explains how many members of Congress and many members of the president's cabinet are funded by corporatist money, meaning that big corporations give them money to run their campaign and obviously support themselves. So they obviously expect something in return. And what they expect in return is that lucrative policies that help the upper social class are going to be passed, not policies that help the middle class. The net worth of congressmen directly shows how there is a big separation between Congress and the people of America. According to the official U.S. Senator page, senators make $150,000 a year. So why some Congress members have a net worth of over $40 million? Do you think that represents the working class of the United States? Does that represent the 67% of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck every day? No. And again, according to Dr. Nicholas Carnes, he argues that Congress is so rich that there is a complete separation, how they are completely desensitized from society itself. Mitch McConnell once said when the $1,200 stimulus check was passed that those $1,200 should last the family a couple of months, when we know that $1,200 barely pays for rent. Let's talk about the policies that Congress passes. So according to the research of the University of California, Congress members that come from a higher social class, tend to be more conservative, meaning that they believe in trickle-down economics, meaning that they will cut taxes for the rich and expect the rich to be captains of industry to distribute the money for the working class. As we see, this is not the case. During COVID-19, we saw how countless companies cut their pays, laid off workers, and then not became captains of industry for our country. We see how rich people tend to be greedy and really only care about the company's well-being. According to Axelrod, many progressive bills that come to Congress do never pass Congress and reach the president's desk. And most of the bills that actually pass tend to be lucrative. A prime example of a lucrative bill that recently passed was the PPP loan. This PPP loan was supposed to help small businesses during the COVID crisis so they wouldn't close down. And many of these loans did not go to small businesses. They went to multi-million-dollar companies that used up the money and never paid back this loan because they did not need to. Many small businesses locally, as we know, have closed. And the government, again, is inadequate to keep the working class in order. In conclusion, I want to say that Congress should not be lucrative. Congress should work for the people of America. And congressmen that have a lucrative agenda should be held responsible for what they've caused to this country. Countless of homelessness, countless of people living in tents, countless of people that don't know how to feed their children. Congress needs a reform. We as the people need to reform Congress, and we need to make America work for the working class again. And I'm going to leave you with this last quote by Mark Twain saying, "Suppose you were an idiot, and suppose you were a member of Congress, but I repeat myself." Thank you for listening to my speech.